Welcome back. You're still watching The Press Box, Uganda's finest sporting show every Monday at 10 p.m. It's live on NTV, and we're live from Uganda's finest hotel with the best hospitality as well, the Kampala Serena Hotel. As we start the whole new decade, you should come through with your family and friends, have your meetings over lunch or dinner here at the Kampala Serena Hotel, because what we've mastered is serving you brilliantly at any time of the day, to make sure you also have the best prices and pretty much the most serene environment in and around Kampala. So you're welcome to the Kampala Serena Hotel. We promised we have a special guest. We have two special guests on the show tonight. One of those is Sharif The Lion Bogere, and he's on the show tonight. Good evening, Sharif, and welcome back to the Press Box.
First of all, I'd like to thank God that I'm back on the NTV air.
Yeah.
NTV, oh yeah. Yeah, baby. It's your boy, Sharif The Lion Bogere. I'm right here sitting with my brothers and sisters right here.
Yeah.
Hello, Uganda. This is your brother, your son, Sharif The Lion Bogere. Thanks for having me on NTV.
Asante. Now, to our viewers out there today, I want you to get closer to your screen or increase the volume, because Sharif Bogere, living in the USA for so many years, has an American accent. And I'm sorry, some of you might struggle with it, including your host here. But what I'm going to do is to try and have some American accent myself. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. To make sure the show goes on as smooth as we can. You know, Mark, you actually can't pull off an American accent. Would you make? That's British. Yeah?
No.
You can't.
You see, I won't try. I can't, but
Okay?
I don't have to. You're just killing me.
The only problem I'm going to have on the show tonight is that sometimes I'm going to say I wanna, and sometimes I'll say I want. So please, bear with us. Sharif, the holidays, you've paid us another visit now. Come home. You've done so quite more fluently than you did in the last one decade. How have you enjoyed the holidays, and how is the Happy New Year treating you so far?
You know, I would like to thank God that I'm still alive, I'm still here, that we're still breathing. I was, you know, when I left back in, was it May? I think it was June.
It was May.
Yeah, I went back, started training. We started asking for a fight, but we didn't get a chance to have a fight. During my spare time, I decided to come back home and, spend time with my loved ones. Come back to NTV. Hey, here I am, man.
That's a good plan.
That's right.
But I mean, the last time you were here in May, you had a couple of clinics. And you were meeting a few young boxers, giving them some advice. Have you done any of that this time here? What activities have made you quite busy?
Actually, I'm impressed with the team. I'm impressed with the fighters. Boys, you know what I've been telling them, they've been putting these things to work. Last night I was impressed with some of the fighters. They were doing exactly the same thing. You know, there's one kid, I'm not going to mention his name, but he did exactly the things that I told him to do. So, hey, I'm impressed. You know, the kids are picking up.
Yeah, I want to bring in Asha and Mark shortly. When you're watching the boxing, are you in a situation to know what is going through these boxers' minds? They are hoping to make it as high as you made it, but still young, or whether it's in terms of career or in terms of age. Do you understand what goes through these guys' minds? Do you know where their state of mind is at the moment?
Yeah, I know the pressure. You know, I've been there myself. You know, I know the pressure, and all I can get, the encouragement I can give him is stay patient, keep working, and pray about it. Your time will come.
Okay, Asha.
I'll just say something, because I was, again, lucky to be seated next to him yesterday when he was watching these youngsters fighting. And after the fight, they would walk to him, you know, shake his hand, and he would give them, you know, some advice. And I don't know how to explain the importance of mentorship, yeah? It could be, of course, just that 1 minute or the 2 minutes. It could even be more, like he did last May. I'm sure that they called him up there, you know, at his doorstep saying, what can we do? What can I do to get to the next level? Because he is the closest example that we have in Ugandan boxing of someone that has made it in this generation. You know, Mark, before you look at me and start bringing up examples.
No, it's all right.
Yes, because the challenges of this generation are completely different from, I'm sure, from the guys before. So to see that, to see how these guys respect him, how they look at him, how they look up to him, was really, you know, amazing yesterday at the Lugogo Indoor Arena.
Mark, you can understand, though, where these young boxers are coming from when they see the Lion down in the stands, up in the stands, and they have a fight in the next few minutes. You can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, no, the thing is, when you look at the backgrounds of some of these kids, many of them, they're underprivileged. They come from backgrounds where they've not had it all. They've not enough education for some of them. not rich parents, no parents at all in some cases, and surviving day to day, and then turning to boxing as an escape, as a way out.
Yeah.
And when they look at guys like him who've made it, they believe that it can be done, and it's a very good thing. Which is why, like I was saying the other day when we had Justin here, it's good that on PressBox now we have our living legends,
Yeah.
rather than talk about guys after they've passed and then praise them posthumously and all. We've managed to host guys when they're still in their prime, or those who have just retired but are still with their belts, like Justin came here with all of them, and it's a good thing for these kids. We talked about some of the problems that boxing has gone through at administrative level, and because we've not run the game as well as we used to, I think we have let down an entire generation.
Yeah.
There should be more Sharif Bogeres out in the US than there are. But I think collectively as a country we've let these kids down. We have not run the game well enough to export those talents, to expose those talents and export them. But this is hope. When you're looking at Sharif, when you're fighting in Lugogo and he's sitting in the stands, that is hope. That despite everything that has happened over the last 10, 15 years, they can still make it. Which is why, if they're watching, then we want for him to be able to tell his story again. He was here on the show.
Yes.
Some people must have missed that. But yeah, I was running through again the roster of the guys you've fought against. And there's a Rodriguez here, a Tamudo there, a Hernandez here, a Reyes there, and all. You're fighting Mexicans largely. What's going on? Why is that division dominated by Mexicans? And how does one get through these guys, walk through these guys and onto a belt? Are you still looking at winning a championship? Are we saying that the chance has gone? Or just tell us a bit about it now.
Hey, I'm still a baby. Look at his face there. I'm still a baby. Sharif the Lion is still a baby. I'm bringing the belts back home. I'm bringing the world titles back here in our land, the motherland, Africa, Uganda. We're bringing it. Yeah, I'm 31 years old. Hey, I'm blessed. I'm thankful to be here. And yeah, I'm still working hard. I'm still dreaming hard.
Yeah.
My dream hasn't come down. I'm still got hope, and I know how to do it in future, inshallah. I'm still young. Look, guys like Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins. The guy is nearly 50. He was nearly 50 years, and he was beating the behinds of the guys who were my age. You know. So if I treat myself right, eat right, and don't use no drugs, hey, sky is the limit.
You just said though that you tried to get a fight last year,
Yes.
which didn't materialize. I was seeing press statements saying that you have a fight coming up. Give us an update on that. Where have you reached? Is the fight confirmed? Are you still trying to negotiate a fight moving forward? And would you tell us which fight it is?
I haven't had no fight.
Yeah.
Haven't had enough.
No, I mean in the future.
In the future.
Oh, in the future, yeah. You know, right now I'm training. Actually, I'm here on a little vacation, but I'm still training every day. I'm at Nachivubo, KBC. I'm training every day. I'm keeping myself in shape. As soon as I go back, I try to talk to my manager. I told him to keep looking around, and hopefully, you know, as soon as I go back, I'll get a fight scheduled. Yes.
And yesterday, you know, you were talking to these boxers, obviously, about their next step. They're going to Senegal. How are you going to help them in the next 1 month? Do you have, I don't know, any plans to attend their training sessions? How can you help them?
Right now, I'm willing to sacrifice my time and go into their training camps. I talked to the president of the Uganda Amateur Boxing Federation, Mr. Muhanji Moses, and he told me I think the camp is going to be at Luzira, and I'll be more than happy to go there and work with them, box with them, show them some things that they need to, because I've seen all the fighters from the first fight to the last fight, and I've seen all their little mistakes. I'm going to try to show them, to perfect them, and hopefully when they go to Senegal, they bring back medals.
And yes, there's the part of the medals, but what can be done, you know, to help them, you know, with their fitness, with nutrition, because nutrition is very important, but it is expensive in a Ugandan context, because we're talking about Omuntu Wawansi. You know, Omuntu Wawansi perhaps cannot afford to have a good meal, because we're talking about, you know, chapat or chikomando, and that's the reality of it, you know. How can they, you know, should the federation help them do that, or how is it sustainable?
You know, my last vacation when I was here, I was more into, you know, dieting, you know, a lot of different things. So as far as diet, I will definitely talk to the president, and he finds some people who are skillful about the nutrition. And as far as the you know, you talked about Montua Wansi, you know, still you can find little things that you can, you know, afford, you know. You can, you know, I can give him a little example of what kind of food to eat and stuff like that. If they put it in work, hey, it won't be so difficult for them to lose weight.
Yeah.
You know, actually, sorry.
No, it's fine. Please finish.
I've been fighting the same weight since I left Uganda.
Same way.
Same weight. I get
Same
big,
weight,
I become fat, but I still be able to manage and lose it.
Yeah. I mean, Mark, I wanted to add to Asha's question. I think it's quite relevant in the context of Uganda and our GDP and what these sportsmen actually earn. And I'm not going to mention names on the press box tonight, but I've met a player in the Uganda Premier League after a training session, and he was actually ordering for a Rolex. On his way home, jumped on a border, and where I stay, I met him, was ordering for a Rolex. And I was asking myself, you're competing against Cristiano Ronaldo and these guys who want to go into some of these top leagues, or the South Africans or the Egyptians. If that is your meal after training, it's going to be a problem. But then how do you battle that with the money these guys have?
Well, it's tough. When you talk GDP, funny thing is I was discussing this stuff with a friend of mine on a forum, and was saying GDP is not even indicative of what the socio-economic status is of Montua Wansi, who Asha is talking about. Because while those figures might look good, we're talking about the 1-2% privileged people getting most of the income coming in, and those figures not being reflective of the rest of the society, the 98%. And like I told you, the boxing guys are perhaps harder hit than some of the other sports, because of the background, because of the nature of the sport, and how it has been in this country. But of course, it's important even within those limits, within limitations of how much money we have, for the guys to eat right, which is where a guy like Sharif comes in, because one of the things we're still gifted with is natural foods, and where he comes from, they struggle with that, because they have a lot of GMOs and a lot of junk going around, and not a lot of fresh food coming out of the supermarket or the restaurant, and we have that. It's just that we don't know what to eat. Some of the stuff that is healthy, that can help a boxer, is even cheaper than a Rolex. Do you know that?
Absolutely.
It's just that they don't know where to get it and what it is. So when you have a guy like him teaching them, that's a good thing. But the other thing, of course, that we always talk about, I don't know what discussions you've had with Mohanji on that front. How are we managing financially? What are they telling you about, say, government support for the sport, but also the private sector? And where does he think he's going to get the money to get this sport back on track? Have you discussed things like that? Do you talk about that?
No, we haven't got into deep conversation concerning the financials, but I'm so proud of this guy. He has brought back boxing. You know, boxing was dead like a few years when we left. Boxing was completely dead, but this guy is doing a tremendous job. I'm proud of him. And what I saw yesterday, people had to pay to get inside. The thing was sold out.
It was sold out.
Yeah,
was
it
great.
was sold out, and they were paying 5,000.
That is encouraging. That's encouraging, yeah.
And more were actually outside. One thing I know is that I've seen, some partnerships that he has tried to bring on board. I've seen UN Women. I've seen, I think, Uganda Red Cross. There's a few, sponsors that are on board. But of course, the more they see competitions like that, because you need competitions for people to see that, oh, okay, there's actually a sport. And just last year, I saw that there was, primary schools boxing, there was secondary school boxing, because you know that the heart of boxing in Uganda, Kololo SS, City High, so when you see, Kololo High, when you see some of those schools taking part, but now also to take it countrywide, and convince these sponsors that there's actually a sport, there's more, and there are people that are following it actually, because the numbers are there. You can see the figures, you can see the videos. So I think it's just a matter of time. They need to be more organized, and maybe 2020 is the year that they'll get more sponsorship.
Yeah, one of the problems we've had with Ugandan sport is the chicken egg situation. Where we've reversed actually how the process is. Success in Ugandan amateur sport is what actually brings about the attention and then the finances. Yet these guys need the finances to prepare themselves to be able to succeed. But only after they win do we rise up as a nation to then start rewarding them and then thinking that actually some of those sports need sponsorship. It's happened with the track and field guys, the athletics guys. When they win, we realize that we're not doing enough for them. Then we shower them with money, and then, but thankfully, rather than just shower them with money, but throw dinners around and give them money, people are beginning to think about how to help prepare more champions in track and field. I think in boxing it's the same, and like I say, unfortunately, it's supposed to start the other way around. But I know that a few good performances in Morocco, God help us, a medal at the Olympics, will reawaken the interest at financial level that used to be in boxing that is not there anymore. But it just reminds me of a few things that I want Sharif to talk about, to tell the people out there. You've had 16 now? 16 fights? Professional fights?
No, 34.
34?
34.
Yes,
32. Oh, those, okay, 32. 32. But when I look at them, there's I don't see too many losses there. The last one to have your Fortuna.
Yes.
And then I think it was Javier Fortuna, right?
Yes,
2 losses, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
2 losses.
There's 2 losses that I see. That one and another one before. Give us an insight into what happened in those fights and why you lost those and how you pick yourself up. That's one. It's an important thing for the guys out there to learn. And the second thing is about your finances. I don't know how much you can reveal to us.
Oh,
but
Sharif is a rich guy. I can tell
but
that.
it's important for you to tell us, to tell the guys out there how you've been earning over the years in the US, how you've been saving or investing, what you're doing here, what you're doing with your money, what you think about the future, and how you're securing that future, your retirement and everything. If you're thinking about those, paint a picture of this kind of thing so that the viewer here and the sportsman can understand what it takes. Because it is a lesson that the reason I bring this up a lot is that the guys, the generation before you, and far back, boxers, track and field athletes, footballers, guys who are famous in Uganda here, some of the greatest of all time that we have by the time they've died, they've been paupers, putting out a hand to beg. And they've died of sometimes diseases that are, deaths that have been preventable, if you like. And they've been neglected by society because everybody has looked at them as washed out has-beens who are good for nothing. Now tell us about your generation and how you're handling this. It's an important thing to be able to tell us. Reveal as much as you can.
Right.
Don't worry, there's enough security at Serena. And even if you tell us you got $1 million in
you're safe.
we'll be able to.
I might call you a little more often, but you're safe.
First of all, I'd like to thank Allah. Hey, I'm rich, I'm alive. There's nothing richer than that. I'm rich, I'm alive. That's the first thing. But as far as the 2 defeats I have, I don't know if you guys really watched them carefully. The first one was
the highlights of the last one. I guess Fortuna. I just saw the highlights.
Okay, let's begin with Fortuna fight. Fortuna fight. Fortuna is a 3-time world champion, featherweight, super featherweight, and I think lightweight now. He's going to fight for another title right now. Actually, if I won that fight, I would have been the one in position to fight for a title. But it didn't happen. I'm patient. Because whenever he gets in the ring, they're going to have to mention my name. He fought me, he passed through me. But if you see the first 5-6 rounds, he didn't show me nothing special. I wasn't impressed with him. If you see those fights, I dominated him until I got head-butted. I think you remember when I last came here, I had a big cut. So the blood was pouring, and that's when I lost my little focus a little bit. But 6 rounds, I won him easy. He won only 4 rounds, but they gave him the fight. Going back to the world title when I lost to Richard Abreu, I suffered the Achilles tendon.
Oh, it was
my Achilles tendon ruptured. And they had to go through surgeries and stuff like that. During that fight, I didn't train good, but I was able to go 12 rounds with him. And the fight was really close. On YouTube, if you go on YouTube and check Floyd Mayweather Sr. commenting about my performance with Richard Abreu, it was like Richard Abreu won like 3 rounds out of 12 rounds. You know, so these guys are nothing really special. We can do it. We got talent. We got power. All we need is to have a little bit of knowledge of boxing. Uganda, we got talent of boxing. You know, we good. We can do it. You know. encourage everybody in whatever I do, not only boxing, everything we do, to be called Namutima.
But
No.
on this second question, which I think is really what you can leave for so many sportsmen out there today.
Right.
How do you manage your finances moving forward into retirement?
In life, you have to learn how to save. Sometimes I can have a $5,000 or $10,000, but out of that, I got to get out a percentage from manager for a train and taxes. But I have to live life as well. I have to pay rent and all that. But I try to save a little bit. Even though I save up $500 on the side, I put it on the side. So I encourage everybody in life, save a little bit. That's why I was able to go and come back this time. It didn't take me forever to come back because I had a little bit in my savings. You have to save.
You have to save.
Yeah, save, and if you find good investors, invest it into something that's going to produce the money. Yes.
I mean, really, finally, because we're also trying to fix in as much as we can tonight, Sharif. And one of the things I was hoping to get from you was a date and your next fighter, but you're still working on that.
Yes.
You say you haven't solved that. And it brings me to my next point, really. We asked about this, I think, the last time you were on the show. We would really request you to talk to the young boxers out there, to the young sportsmen, about the values someone needs to have if they are to go to the top and do fantastic. Because I'm just hearing you now say you're here on holiday, but you've been down in Nachivobo training, working your socks off every single day. What does it really take for a young boxer out there? Whether it's from nutrition, whether it's to training, whether it's mentality, elite mentality. Because the young boxers have friends, and once in a while they want to go and have a beer, probably have a few hits on the dance floor here and there, enjoy life. Does that really work for a young boxer? What is the elite mentality of a top-class boxer like you?
Focus. Number one, you have to focus, and number two, you have to set goals.
Set goals.
Yeah.
Focus, set goals.
I'm thankful to God. Most of the things I prayed for when I was still here, I prayed to be a national captain. I became a national captain. I prayed to go in America. Things happen. So God makes miracles, well. But you have to take the first step. You want something, you're not going to fall into the water and you'll be like, oh, God, help me, I'm drowning, I'm dying. No, use your hands. God will be like, I gave you the hands. Start swimming. And then through that, I'll help you out to get out of the water. Right?
So, Sharif, sorry to cut you short, because it's the same question. You live in Las Vegas. Like, this is Las Vegas, the Las Vegas of the US. There's so many things to distract you. Again, on the same question like Andrew, how do you remain sane and keep
sober.
your eye and sober, actually, and sober in capital letters, and clean in Las Vegas, and still remain a top-level boxer?
I would say Alhamdulillah, all praise to God. It's Islam. I try to keep myself in the masjid or in the mosque. I keep myself in the mosque, and I have a dream. I didn't just go to America to have fun. I went there to raise the flag of Uganda high. And I think every time I step inside the ring, they mention Uganda, from Kampala, Uganda. Sharif the Lion from where? Kampala, Uganda. So I'm still, I have a dream. I have young people, looking out over me. They're looking after me. So I don't have to put them down. I gotta, lift their spirits up. I know they can do it.
We need to wrap this, Mr. Sharif, but I think before you go, we had Justin Juko on the show as we closed the decade. And he had some nice words he said about your generation and what you guys have achieved. But I felt like we should give the newspapers out there some quotes for tomorrow's newspapers. If you look at the boxing world today, your top 4 boxers, whatever the category, who impresses you the most in world boxing at the moment?
Currently, right now? Honestly, the heavyweights, I'm not impressed with them.
Not AJ? Not Wild?
No.
I mean, Wilder is just a street fighter. If he gets your chin, you out. He's a strong guy. But skill-wise, Tyson Fury got some little skills, and this Ruiz, the one who knocked out Joshua before, he's a little quick for his size. He's a good fighter as well. But in the smaller guys, I was really impressed with this guy called Lomachenko. He made history. Nobody has ever done what he done in boxing. He came and he became a maybe 4-time world champion already. In those little fights he had. So I'm impressed with him. Back then I used to be impressed with another Cuban fighter named Ringardale, you know.
Uh-huh.
So, but there's a lot of fighters out there, really, you know. We go through a lot of hardship. We go through a lot of hard time in boxing. Doesn't matter where you're from, America, Europe, Cuba. We go through the same hustle. We go through the same struggle. So I'm impressed with a lot of them. Yeah.
Sharif the Lion Bogere, asante sana.
Asante sana. So, asante sana Damoti. I know it's thank you, but how do you say welcome in Swahili?
You say Park Asante. You just say Asante.
Asante sana.
But we really appreciate you coming to the show. And please come by every time you're in the country.
Thank you so much, NTV, for hosting me. These guys are the best, man.
Yeah.
You guys are the best.
Fantastic. Yeah. He fights under Floyd Mayweather Promotions. He's in the country for holiday. He'll be heading back to the USA, and we shall be letting you know about his next fight and getting you as many details as we can.